Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome along to this video for week 23 on the journey to 100k. Missed last week. It's kind of a big week for us. We were moving house. Very long, hard, stressful week, but it's finally done. We're here in the new place. This is my new swimming pool. And yeah, currently chilling out in very chilly water, getting a little bit of cold water therapy. Trying to unwind a little bit because we've got a race tonight. Decided at the last second we're going to book in for a 25-kilometre night race, trail race out at Wild Horse Mountain, an event called Wild Horse at Night. I was chatting to my coach about it a couple of days ago, and he had a couple of really good pointers for me. He suggested it'd be a really good opportunity to just practice some specific techniques for night racing, and to sit down and write down a few things that I might encounter that might end up being an issue for me during the course of the night or the course of the Blackall race. So I've done that. I sat down and came up with half a dozen things that I really want to focus on tonight, and tried to come up with a couple of strategies for how to attack these, like a plan of attack for these things if and when they occur during the course of the race. So the 6 things are light, nutrition, clothing, tiredness, solidarity, and pacing. These are all the things I'm going to concentrate on. So for light, I've got a new headlamp. The literature on it says that it will last for 3 hours on a full rechargeable battery on full power. I've never run it flat before, never done a night run that long with it, so I don't know how accurate that is. I don't know whether I need to run it on full power. Maybe I only need it on half power, say going up hills, and full power in only some occasions. So I'm going to play around a little bit with that, see how long I can get out of it, what sort of lighting conditions I need for different track conditions, just get a feel for that. I'm going to take some spare batteries with me because the last thing I want is to be stuck on the track with no light in the middle of the night. That is not going to be particularly fun if it happens, so I'll try and counteract that. Nutrition, I know what I'm going to fuel on. That's going to be a combination of Napalm Run and the Napalm Custom, Infinite Napalm Run and the Infinite Custom Mix. What I don't know is what it's like to do that at night when you can't actually really see the ground. You know, if you're looking down, running on a trail, usually you can get a sense for what's around you with your peripheral vision, but at nighttime you don't really get that luxury. So what's my strategy for how to take on fuel without ending up sandwiched flat on my face? I think basically what I'm going to try and do is take it in on my normal interval, which is about every 20 minutes or so, but I'm going to do it while I'm walking. So that might be earlier sometimes if I happen to be walking a few minutes before that or a few minutes after. Maybe it'll make it a little bit later, but yeah, just do what I can to avoid being face down in the middle of the track in the middle of the night. Another thing I'm going to be thinking about a lot is clothing. Am I going to be cold? It's winter time here. I tend to run hot at the best of times, so I'm not really sure what this is going to be like, but I'm going to be paying attention particularly to my extremities, my hands and my forearms. Sometimes they tend to get a little bit cold on the colder mornings. I plan to just wear a t-shirt and a pair of shorts tonight, so we'll see. That may or may not be adequate. Tiredness is going to be a cool one. I've had a massive week and I'm pretty sleep deprived anyway. I've been waking up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning and just not being able to get back to sleep. How am I going to deal with this on race day? I guess this is kind of a good little intro to it that I'm going to experience tonight. It'll be after dark. I'm going to be hungry and tired, want to go to bed probably. So yeah, I don't really know how I'm going to deal with it. I'm going to try a few things like talking to myself or singing maybe if I'm the only one around, talking to other people. And of course I've got the fallback option of some caffeine tablets or taking some caffeine at a support station. Solidarity. I don't know if any of you have ever been alone in the bush at night, but there's some really scary sounds. a twig falling a kilometre away sounds like it's a bear falling out of a tree right on the path right next to you, and everything you kind of your senses are heightened and you're kind of on edge and everything's a little bit scary and what was that sound? So for me, this is something I've not done a lot of, and I'll admit I'm not particularly comfortable in that scenario either. So I don't know whether it'll happen tonight. This is a little bit of a smaller event. Maybe it will, maybe it won't, I don't know. But if it does, I kind of want to just enjoy the opportunity, I think, get used to what it's like and try and embrace the opportunity for that. And the last one is going to be pacing. This will be a fun one. I tend to use my sense of sight a lot to gauge my pace, but I don't pay too much attention to the other senses. And what I mean by other senses are breathing and cadence and perceived effort. I rely a lot on the visual cue, and you take away light and you basically take away the visual cues. So how will I know if I'm pacing appropriately? I mean, obviously I've got my watch, but I don't want to be glued to the watch either. So I'm going to try and be really conscious about how I'm breathing, how fast my feet are turning over, and how much effort I'm putting in. You know, if I'm really sucking in hard and I feel like I'm working really hard, I might be going up a gradual incline but not be aware of it because I can't see any further than a few meters in front of me. So I've just got to be mindful of the other things my body's doing to help me gauge whether I'm pushing too hard or not pushing hard enough in certain scenarios. So anyway, that's my 6 things I'm going to look at tonight. And I think they're all really important, and there's probably a load more that I could look at actually. And if anyone's got any tips on things I can or should practice at night time, I would really love to hear them. Drop a comment, let me know, and I'll add it to my list of things that I need to suss out and look into and practice before this race, or before the 100k race. But yeah, I kind of thought tonight focusing on any more than these 6 is probably going to mean that I don't give much effort to any of them because there's too many things to try and remember. And I thought hopefully 6 isn't too many, but I thought 6 was reasonably achievable. Anyway, having said all of that, I'm going to do a couple of quick laps here and jump out, warm up a bit and get my kit together and get out and hit the track. It's going to be a really fun night. I'm not going to be filming. It's going to be too dark, of course, but I'll try and do a recap once I cross the finish line if I can. It'd be awesome. Thanks very much. So, race recap for Wild Hourse at Night last Saturday. Overall, it was pretty good outing for me. Finished in 2 hours and 36 minutes. 11th overall out of a field of 26. It felt really good until about the 15k mark, and I really started to feel the fatigue of that week of hard work, moving house. And towards the end particularly, I had some epic battles with myself. Just like I had a shouting match to try and get myself to and over the finish line, but that's all good. The areas I was focusing on, light worked really well. It ran on about half to maybe 2/3 power for the whole race. It's heaps of light and there's plenty of charge left at the end, so I feel like it could have gone for a fair bit longer, which is awesome to know. Didn't need to use my spare batteries. Nutrition and water, I figured out that looking down is actually bad. I didn't actually look down to do anything with food, but I looked at my watch. When a notification came through on my phone, it popped up on my watch. I looked down twice, and both times I ended up flat on my face. Taking in food and water while I was walking was no issue. Clothing, I was pretty cold at the start, but once I was up and moving, I was all good. So I don't really think there's going to be any issues there unless it's particularly cold. October is not really renowned for being freezing though, so it should be good on the Blackall race, which is awesome. Tiredness wasn't really as much of an issue as I thought it might be in terms of sleepiness, but it did manifest itself as mental fatigue heaps earlier than I expected it to. Like I said earlier, came in at about the 15k mark. Physical fatigue then as well, but yeah, I didn't expect it quite that soon. Solidarity, I didn't really get to see what this was like, I guess. I was with somebody else for the vast majority of the race. I dropped them at about the 21k mark and had the last couple of Ks to myself, which wasn't really that long. And pacing was the other one that I was going to work on. It was actually really good. I paid heaps of attention to my effort, or the perceived effort that I was putting in, and I used the data available on my watch just to try and gauge how fast I was going and monitor how fast I was going. And the end result was reasonably even pace throughout. It fluctuated a little bit with climbs and descents, but ended up being very happy with it. My averages were all pretty close together, so except for the last probably 2 or 3 Ks. But anyway, that's another story for another day. And then also want to give a massive shout out to Courtney. She finished right behind me, or a couple of minutes behind me, but she was the first female across the line. She did an awesome job. Very proud. Anyway, that's it. Wild Horse at Night. Great event. Check it out next time it pops up. Get out there. There's a great bunch of people. It's a great course. It's not too hard, but it's loads and loads of fun. Hey, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Love it if you'd like, and subscribe to my channel so you get a notification next time I post one of these. Cheers. See you in the next one.